Didn't know I could get out of it that easy.
Well, you can't.
You can't. Yeah, we're just kidding. Just teasing.
Easy in, hard to get out.
Hard to get out.
So it's 4 o'clock out. Who are we waiting on?
We are waiting on no one. Everybody that is here is here.
Okay, I have Rick and Mike and George.
Jeff's on the phone.
Present.
Present. And,
Oh, Jeff's on the phone?
Yes, Jeff's calling.
Yeah, Jeff, yeah. Should we wait, oh, I see, Jeff's on audio.
I'm present.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, well, it's 4 o'clock. We can go ahead and start the meeting. I want to call this meeting to order, and we will start as we traditionally do with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. If everyone please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, we shall proceed with the meeting agenda, and that is the first thing on the agenda is the second thing on the agenda, rather, is the approval of the meeting of the minutes of the last meeting. Everyone should have received a
Phone call?
everyone should have received a copy of the minutes in the board pack. Does anybody have any additions, corrections to those minutes?
did you say anything, Mike? I didn't see.
Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I'll motion that
I'll
we.
second.
Okay, who made the motion?
I, George,
You, George.
Mike
Okay.
seconded.
And second was
Condaris.
Banderas, okay. Mike? Okay, I will do a roll call vote. Rick?
Yes.
Rue? Mike Banderas?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
George?
Yes?
And Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, motion is approved. Tim Meyer, is it? Yes? So the motion is approved. Minutes are approved as presented without correction. Okay. Next on the agenda is the claims. And we'll start with what is listed as the August claims. And Jeff, if you would walk us through those.
Jeremy will walk you through those. So you have A and Z.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
It's all right. I realize this is a challenge, so.
Yeah.
A and Z Engineering's the first claim, $13,575.66. This is for the ongoing engineering for 300 North and 200 North. Selge, $100,138.50. This is for the Buffalo Street Plaza. The money is still being paid out of the grant from regional cities at this point. OrthoWorks, $67,000. This is our agreement with them. I think it was a 5-year agreement with OrthoWorks for a cell links.
Says payment 5.
Barnes and Thornburg, $260 is for legal services for the Northern TIF District, I believe. Wessler Engineering, $2,643.25 is for ongoing engineering at the Airport Industrial Park. And I do want to talk a little bit about this claim. So this is, I believe this should be the last claim, but the previous claim that we approved, there was a deduction There was a pipe that was missed on the plan documents, and when they went to construction, the contractor did not see the pipe either. We came to realize later on that it was one of Zimmer Biomet's pipes that needed to be connected in. We went back and made that connection, but that cost was around $18,500 to do that. Had it been done at the time, it probably would have still cost us some money, because it would have had to been doghoused and so forth. So it might have cost us $2,000 or $3,000, maybe up to $5,000 to do that. So they had agreed, since it was their error, they would cover that full cost. So the previous claim that was submitted was, I believe, for around $30,000, and after that $18,500 deduction, it was revised to $12,000, which I did get approved from Tim and Rick. Since you'd already approved the claim, all I did was just reduction in that claim to that price around $12,000, taking out that $18,500. I just wanted to make note that Wessler has done an excellent job, and as for as many feet of pipe as we put in the ground, we put about 18,000 plus feet of pipe in the ground. To have as little issues as we've had and to only miss one pipe, I'm really happy with the performance, not only from the design standpoint, but also from the construction oversight standpoint, and the fact that they were willing to cover those charges certainly shows to the character of the company themselves. G&G Hauling, $4,548.60. This is for some work on culvert pipe at Rainbow Drive out at the new Airport Industrial Park. The rest of these claims are for, so I want to give a little bit of summary on that. So you have Mid-City Supply, Babsco, Builders Mart, WeFab, and a couple more, Babsco and Kendall Electric. As part of the Plaza project, we have, the Parks Department has a sprinkler system that feeds the entire Central Park and waters all of the grounds. That comes out of Center Lake. That pump sits on the edge of the Plaza project and was in the way of the wall structure for the boardwalk and needed to be relocated. I'm in conversations with them. The relocation cost was going to be pretty significant, somewhere in the $30,000 mark, and then just relocating the pipe and the electrical was going to be, I want to say it was like $15,000 to $18,000 to do that. After conversations with James and Plummer, Larry Plummer at the Parks Department, we decided to see if we can do that in-house to save some cost. So I agreed to pay for the materials to do that work. The Parks Department's doing the work itself, and we think it should cost us somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 rather than the $30,000 it was going to cost. So all of these claims, the Mid-City for $3,309, the Babsco for $110, Builders Mart for $48, WeFab for $95, Babsco for $44.50, the Kendall Electric for $95.12, and the Babsco $406.62 are all associated with moving that sprinkler system at the Parks Department.
Jeremy, are the Parks Department going to absorb that labor then?
Yes.
Their budget? Or?
Yeah, so the labor is going to be done in-house. All the labor is done in-house. We're just paying for the supplies.
Okay, good. That saved us a lot of money.
It was a significant savings, and I'm glad that we could do that, because having to pay $36,000 to move a 1-inch pipe was a little hard to swallow.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
Are
all the
there any-
claims.
Sorry?
And that's all the claims I have.
Are there any questions for Jeremy about the claims or questions, explanations required?
This is Rick. I make a motion we approve as presented.
Rick is made a motion to approve as claims as presented. Do I hear a second? Anyone?
I'll second. George will second.
George will second that. Thank you, sir. Okay, once again, we'll call a roll call vote. Rick Snodgrass?
Yes.
Yes. Mike Lendaris?
Yes.
Yes. George Clemens?
Yes.
Yes. Jeff Gross?
Yes.
Yes. And Tim Meyer says yes. So the vote is unanimous, so the claims are all approved as presented. Thank you very much. Appreciate the explanations on those, Jeremy. That helps understand some of that stuff. And just to verify, he did call Rick and I, and we did approve the reduction in the. Thought that was pretty easy. Pretty easy vote, right, Rick?
Right.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to the next item. I believe that's change order number 2. Is the
That's
Yes.
the
next
same
item on the
sprinkler
order
system.
for the Buffalo Street project.
Yeah, so this is a pretty comprehensive change order, so I'm gonna try to run through it and explain it as much as possible. So much like we talked about last year when we awarded this contract, there were some changes we were going to make because the original contract award was for $2,511,264.30. The first change order was a deduction in $14,428.50 while we figured out the rest of the changes. So this change order encompasses the bulk of the changes to the plans. The big one being we deleted the pavilion. The original pavilion that was designed, and we inserted another pavilion that is a little bit more cost effective, but still has the same look that we were going for. So we worked with the Parks Department and Larry. They reviewed a lot of different options. We found a pavilion that we were really happy with that still had the same character that we were wanting to go with, but a significant cost reduction. So the original pavilion cost was around $414,000. The new pavilion will be around $110. Plus we have about $14,000 in some additional lighting, and then there's some earthwork, $13,000 in earthwork. So it'll be around $135,000, $140,000 for that new pavilion. So when you subtract off the original pavilion at $414,000 and then the new pavilion, it's a pretty significant cost reduction. So most of the cost reduction has come from that pavilion. Now there are some additional cost reductions in here. Initially the project had called for pavers for the bulk of the concrete walking path. We are switching that to stamped concrete. So that reduction from the pavers to the stamped concrete was $52,000 for the stamped concrete. The original paver cost was around $120,000. So there's some additional cost savings in that. And then there was a relocation of a service point that was an additional $13,000, and that is for the electrical service. See if I missed anything. We changed the handrails a little bit. We did go to a non-lit handrail in some of the sections. We still will have a illuminated handrail on the boardwalk sections, but the non-boardwalk sections will not have the illuminated handrail. And I believe there was a cost change in that as well. When it's all said and done, the change order you have before you is changing the original contract from the little over $2.5 million down to the $2,196,480.80. So that is the overall reflection is a $300,355 reduction in the original price of the project.
Jeremy, can I ask, what was that's really a big difference in the cost of the pavilion. What was the main, I see what you're proposing to put up now. How did it change from what was originally proposed?
So we are raising the pavilion up a little bit. I think the original pavilion was raised up quite a bit, so I think there was some costs associated with that. Although we're still raising the pavilion, it's not as drastic a raise.
And then you had steps going up, is that?
We had
So
steps,
it's
we
like a
had brick,
platform.
it was bricked. So I think it was a switch from the masonry to more the open concept that we have here. I think that was some of the cost. I don't really know. We could never really figure out why it was a $400,000 pavilion, and every bid that we did, it was different, so it was hard to say.
I know the Glover Pavilion has masonry or brick, and it's really nice. Maybe they were trying to keep a similar theme going, or?
I think we were. So the original pavilion that was picked out by the Parks Department, and it was modeled off of a pavilion that was in whiting.
Yeah.
So it was a specific model, although we did not specify that model had to be used, it was more of a, this is the end product that we wanted.
So it sounds to me like it was more of a, like, on a wish list. This is what we really like.
I think it was if we never specified, it's kind of confusing, but we never really specified. It wasn't, you had to use Jack's pavilion. It was, this is the pavilion, this is the design for the pavilion. But when it came down to the actual product, everybody spec'd or bid the price of that pavilion that was in whiting, even though we didn't say it had to be that pavilion.
Okay.
So rather than specify, and they kept saying, well, if you would chose a different product, we could have had a better price. And it's like, we never specified that you had to use that product, but no one was willing to go outside and risk not meeting the standard by speccing a different product, if that makes sense. So we scrapped that product altogether, and we found a pavilion that still has the same specs that we want for the price, that is more palatable for this
Does it have the
project.
same footprint as far as roof coverage? or-
Same size, it's just a different model.
Okay. Okay. Is there gonna be electricity in there?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, it'll still be lit, it'll still be raised. It won't have the brick that the original pavilion had, but it'll still be raised up and still have lighting.
Lighting?
Yes, it'll still be lit.
Looks nice. Thank you. And we saved a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
If not, I'd make a motion to approve.
That was Mike?
Yes,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah. Mike made a motion to approve as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second, Mr. Rick.
Rick makes the motion to approve, seconded the motion. Okay, I'll do a roll call vote here. Rick Snodgrass,
Yes.
Mike Lindaris,
Yes.
George Clemens,
Yes.
Jeff Gross,
Yes.
and Tim Myers, a yes. Okay. So it is unanimous. We will approve this change order. So motion is approved.
Jeremy, before we move on to the next item, we got a timeline on this?
So it was supposed to be done in October, but we are probably going to extend that out a little bit. Both the pavilion and the deck structure, because of COVID, are not, their timeframes are out. So the lead on the deck structure is 15 weeks because the plant that makes the product has been shut down. So they're 15 weeks out on supplying us with the product. And we're running into similar issues with the pavilion. So right now, it's hopeful that it will be done before the end of the year.
Gosh, 15 weeks, that almost puts you out to November.
Yes. So they'll be putting the deck on in November,
Maybe.
maybe. Assuming we
It
don't
ain't here
get
till
further.
it's here.
Yeah, exactly, assuming we don't get further setbacks. So yes, we are having
That's
some.
what I mean.
We're having some issues getting materials.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay. Moving on, next item on the agenda is the Amendment 8 for the structure point and the Buffalo Street project, I guess. Explain what this is all about, please.
Yes, so Structure Point is requesting an amendment, $36,600, and this is for what I will call construction engineering. Basically, this is for them to oversee any changes to the project, and there have been a few, obviously. A lot of what we just talked about is why this change order is here, as well as kind of overseeing. We're trying to use them on a minimal basis to try to save money. James is doing most of the on-site stuff, but we still need them to review product changes and some of the design changes, like going to the stamped concrete, the pavilion change. That's what this contract is requesting, is to cover those additional costs for their construction administration.
So that's an additional cost
Yes.
to what?
So we did not hire them to do construction administration. What we did tell them was that we would want them to help us in the beginning stages as we get the project going, to make sure that the contractor is getting the all the stamps for the products that they're supposed to be using and so forth. A lot of that is being reviewed by us, by James, but some of it, like your structural material, your that we still wanted them to approve, so we were going to do it on an as-needed basis. And that's what this is representing. This $36,600 is for their oversight since the inception of the project.
For additional services?
Yeah.
Okay.
So modification.
So the additional 36.6 is the total cost of the change.
For some of the changes to the plans and for them to review the, I'm trying to think what they call it. It's the, so every product that is used has to have the contractor sends in the sheets to be reviewed. A lot of those we're doing in-house. But the structural members, the piers, those products, we wanted them to review them because James is not a structural engineer. So they are reviewing those products in-house and for the stamped approval of the materials that are being used.
Sounds to me like they're just certifying what's going in.
Yeah, you send in the spec sheet for the product before they purchase it. We review it and make sure it meets the guidelines that were in the engineered plans. And then we send that product label back to them so that they can order them, so that you don't end up ordering something that isn't the correct product and installing it. So it's just kind of a check before the installation of the product.
Okay,
Very good, thank you.
makes sense. Okay, are there any other questions about amendment number 8? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. George and Mike.
Okay, that was George and Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Rick Snodgrass,
Yes.
Mike Londeras,
Yes.
I did not hear Mike.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. George,
Yes.
And Jeff Gross?
Yes.
Thank you. And Meyer says yes. Okay. We have unanimous approval of amendment number 8, so stands approved as presented. Thank you very much. It's a little complicated sometimes. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is the transfer request. It's fairly simple and straightforward, I believe.
Yeah, so obviously what you just approved, I'm requesting to transfer money in redevelopment general, 50,000 from 444 to professional services, and that will cover that additional engineering professional services needed for the plaza. So we have roughly 200-some thousand in 271, 444. I'm requesting to transfer 50,000 of that to 271, 310.
Okay. So we're moving $50,000 to professional services out of the redevelopment general fund, right?
That's correct.
Or other infrastructure, I should say.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's to
Any
cover the
questions about that?
36.
Yes.
Basically to cover the amendment, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Do you have plans for the remaining balance, or?
I don't, but I'm hoping I don't have to do it twice, so I moved a little bit more money in case there's some additional cost overruns.
Okay.
It's all budgeted money, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
This is Rick. Make a motion to approve.
Rick makes a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second, George.
George, second. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote again for transfer of $50,000 from other infrastructure to professional services. Rick Snodgrass.
Yes.
Rick is a yes. Mike Londeris.
Yes.
George Clemens.
Yes.
And Jeff Gross.
Yes.
Thank you. Tim Meyer says yes, so it's unanimous. Transfer the funds, $50,000 to professional services from other infrastructure.
And that transfer will go to the city council tonight since you've approved it. So it's on the city council agenda for them to sign and approve tonight as well.
Okay. Make it official then. Okay, is there any other business to come before this illustrious group?
$49 special additional claim. I got it from the,
Yes.
we did do it. Okay,
Yep.
I was making sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
No
Is
other
there,
business, but I'd maybe like an update on what's going on over, between Market and Center Street.
So that's the senior housing project. They started construction
Yeah,
finally.
big time.
It's taken a little while to get there, but,
They
so
started destruction.
they did the demolition. They're starting construction. I think they're putting the pylons in now. They've had some issues with that, so hopefully they can get that straightened out.
Yeah, they got several filings started anyway.
So, I mean, that's the housing, the senior housing, affordable housing project that we participated in. I don't know that I have, I mean, obviously, it's probably gonna take about, I'm guessing sometime in the spring of next year it'll be finished.
Really?
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be
Refresh my memory, that was, if I recall correctly, about 100 units?
71, I think.
Okay.
71 or 72 units. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a few units.
Yeah.
It'll be a real nice addition to Market Street.
Yeah, nice improvement.
especially with the affordable housing, providing those affordable housing units to seniors will be huge. The walkability with all the things that we've done on Mark Street. This was originally one of the projects that was in Stellar.
Right.
We didn't win, but we kept pushing forward. It took us about 2 years to get approval for it. So we're excited to see it get started construction.
Great, thank you. That'll be done just in time for you and me.
Get your name in.
Airport Industrial Park is pretty much done. All the pipes been laid, the system's online. We sent out letters last week telling everybody they can connect, so we're working through those connections over the next 3 or 4 months. As of now, they have until the end of December to connect, so we're giving them quite a bit of time to make that connection. So hopefully everybody will start tying in and we'll start treatment.
And filling in those septic systems.
Yep. I know there's a lot of them out there that have been asking me for months and months and months, and for me to be able to tell them, send out that letter, will hopefully reduce some of those phone calls.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see them get started and get connected.
Good job, good job. That's great.
Yeah. Is there any update on Winona PVD?
There still have some people they're just talking with. They haven't, no one's said yay or nay, so they're still pushing forward with some options. And I know that there's been 2 or 3 different companies that have went through, done walkthroughs. So I think we're hoping to hear something or to have a resolution in about a month and a half.
Tim,
We'll look forward to that.
Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you can't see him, but the mayor's here. I don't know if you have anything to say for the meeting or anything to add?
No,
to
I
anything?
did not know Joe was there.
Yeah,
I'm
Mayor's
sorry,
here.
Joe. But, yeah, if you have any comments, we'd be glad to hear.
No, I just would echo what Jeremy said, the senior housing project's gonna be a great addition to Market Street. Obviously Buffalo Street is coming along quite nice that way, trying to get some more units started. And we're still looking at the mixed-use building. I think I mentioned we had a tenant move out to the
Tech Park.
Tech Park, and now we're short a tenant, but we're still working on that. So there's just an awful lot going on. So no, I'm really pleased with our direction, and just again trying to get these projects done through somewhat trying times is a feat in itself, quite frankly. So good work to all of you.
Good. And you're feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
You have a question, Dan?
I did. I was curious, when you're talking about the senior housing project, which way will the front of the apartments face?
So the front will face, I mean, if you're, depends on what you mean by front. So the front, which will be, it's an L-shaped building, will face Center Street, and the parking will be along Center Street. The building facade will be all along Market Street. So there won't be any parking along Market Street.
Thank you.
Will there still be an alley running through there, Jeremy, or?
No more alley.
Okay,
Got vacated.
okay.
Yeah, the alley was vacated when we did the plat. There's a sewer line that was not functioning properly, so that is being torn out. There's a lift station that'll be constructed as part of this project that will take the sewage from this building and the church. There was only one, there was only the 3 or 4, so you had the 2 houses and the church were the only people tied onto that sewer line, and it was reverse flow grade, so it was basically working off of pressure. When it filled up, it would dump. So it was good to get rid of that
Yeah,
pipe altogether.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, very good. Anything else we should know about?
Nope, I think, we're still trying to work through the projects we have under construction now and plan for the future projects, so we keep moving forward.
Very good. As long as we're moving. Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We're having so much fun.
I will, okay, before you adjourn, I will, that you sparked my memory. I did get notification from Nextremity that they did identify the product that the equipment that they wanted to purchase. So we will be starting that process as soon as possible. I'm shooting for next month to start. If for some reason we need to start earlier than that, I will let you know, and maybe we could schedule a special hearing. But for now, I'm trying to get a schedule put together for that product purchase, that equipment purchase.
Okay. That shouldn't be too hard. There's a lot of major equipment going in there.
No, not at all.
And since we're still talking, out at the tech park, we're working on 300.
Yes.
And not just the part that goes from State Road 15 to, was it 200 West, but from 200 West over to 300 West, the dirt road?
Yes.
Is
That's
that,
what's being designed now. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That and 200, so I'm trying to couple the two projects together, although I don't think we'll be able to bid them together. I'm trying to pay for as many of these projects with cash, so we're not bonding and.
yeah,
So as we have money available, we'll allocate it to these projects. I wanted them designed together because I wanted it to not have any design half a road and then you come back and, oh wait, this should have
Yeah.
been here, that should have been there. So the design of the two roads will be done together. Whether we bid them as one or two projects or three projects will depend on the overall cost. But yes, those both, so from 300 from Sylvius to 200 and from 300 back to 30 is all being designed now. And that will tie into our phase 2 and 3 of the tech park, and then get rid of the gravel road. The only gravel road, as the former superintendent used to tell me, we have in the city limits. So he was desperate to get rid of that gravel road, so we're working on it.
okay.
And we are paying for both sides of both those roads, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Well, I was hoping to get Councilman Gross in the minutes, but since he won't do it, I'll make a motion that we end the meeting.
Second.
I will second Mr. Clemens' motion.
There you go.
Give it to him.
Give it to him.
It's so noted that Jeff Gross seconded that motion.
Caller number 2.
Call number 2.
We're not sure if it's really him, but
I'll take a voice vote on that one. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Jeff, do you know your
Yeah.
camera's on? I'm not sure. You don't.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a good meeting, Jeremy. A lot of info.
Yeah, good to hear that.